Welcome to the Hair of the Dog podcast. I'm Nicole Bagley, and this is episode number 99. I thought that a great way to start off this episode would be a little bit of a look back at how this whole Hair of the Dog thing got started. So stay tuned. I'm spilling all the beans.
Welcome to the Hair of the Dog podcast. If you're a pet photographer ready to make more money and start living a life by your design, you've come to the right place. And now, your host, pet photographer, travel addict, chocolate martini connoisseur, Nicole Bagley.
Hey everybody, Nicole here. I cannot believe we are on episode number 99 of this podcast. Never in a million years did I think that we would get here and still be going so strong because 99 is a lot of episodes. It's a lot of you walking the dog with me in your ear, but I appreciate that. And I am so thankful to each and every one of you and love that I am invited to come along with you on your day. In today's episode, I wanted to kind of take a look back and share a little bit about kind of where this whole thing started and how we got here. And to do that, we really need to jump back to 2010. And that's when I started my pet photography business. And I was just kind of figuring things out as we went. And actually, it wasn't a pet photography business at the time. It was a family photography business that also happened to do some pets and horses, hopefully on the side here and there, because I really enjoyed it. I had no idea that pets at the time, or now, could be a full-time focus in a photography business. Back then, there were maybe 5 full-time pet photographers that I know of back in 2010. So our little genre has exploded quite a bit in the past 11 years. And for that, I am so thankful. And let me just stop real quick because I know some of you are out there thinking, man, I wish I was a pet photographer back in the day when there were only 5 because it must have been so much easier to find clients because the market wasn't as saturated and everyone would choose me if I was the only pet photographer in my market. Okay, that's an easy place for our head to go towards, but I think it's just horribly misguided. Hear me out. If you are one of those 5 pet photographers back in the day, how many potential people in your market do you think would know that pet photography is a thing? Well, based on people saying to me when I say I'm a pet photographer, the number of times I hear, "Wait, what? You photograph dogs?" And they're amazed that that's what I do. Still today in 2021, this is present day, leads me to believe that a lot more people, an even bigger percentage of the population back in 2010 or prior, had no idea that dog photography was a thing. And so one of the early stages of marketing is awareness. People need to know that this even exists, that they can even buy it, they can purchase it, that they can get photos of their dog taken. And if there weren't any other pet photographers in your market, just imagine how much more of an uphill climb you would have to let people know that this pet photography thing is a thing, that it's something that they can even choose to do. So for that, I think it is great that this genre continues to grow because the more pet photographers that are out there marketing their business means the more potential clients that are realizing this is a thing. And then those clients are out there researching different pet photographers. And hopefully you are continuing to up your website, up your work, up your messaging so that when those clients start to look around for pet photographers in their area, you are one of their top choices. So anyway, sorry, that was a little bit of a tangent, but such an important perspective of a way to look at that. And I think so many people get hung up on, oh man, there's already some pet photographers in my market. Yeah, that's okay. How many dogs are in your market? How many horses are in your market? A lot. How many clients do you actually want in a year? Oh, I don't know, 50, 75? Those of us that really want to work really, really hard, maybe 100. There's plenty of clients to go around. But anyway, I digress. Let's jump back to 2010 and talk about the beginning of this business. Now, my first few years, I was just trying to learn everything that I could. And I happened to stumble across a pretty happy accident. And that was I happened to go to Imaging USA, which is PPA's big conference that they host each year. And that really set the trajectory of my business to ensure that I was on the right path and I was setting myself up for profitability from the beginning, because I had no idea, guys. I was 100% that photographer that would just think, man, if I charged $150 for the session, included the files, there's no cost to that, I am going to be rolling in the dough. I mean, I wasn't making that much money as a zoological animal manager. What? You don't get into that field for the money. So I'm thinking, man, it's not going to take long at all to replace that income, to make $150 a day per session. I'll just do a couple sessions a week. That'll be great. Okay. No one really told me the amount of time that goes into doing one of those sessions. Especially at the beginning when I really didn't know Photoshop, I really didn't know Lightroom, and I'm trying to learn these different things. And yeah. Thankfully, I have always loved education. I've always loved learning new things, especially things that I'm interested in. And I was interested in photography. So back when I was first getting started, that very first year, I did a month or two at that, all-inclusive $150, thinking I was going to make all this money, realizing that I was working really hard and I really wasn't keeping any money. But then I also thought, I'm like, man, there's got to be some education out here for how to run a photography business. Because I knew nothing, guys. My undergrad was in animal vet science. And then I spent 13 years in the zoological animal industry. So photography, that was nowhere there. Business, that also wasn't there. So I thought there has to be some education. So a very fortuitous, did I say that right? I think so. Fortuitous, if I didn't, my apologies, web search brought me to finding out about Imaging USA, which is PPA's big annual conference. And I had another friend, a college friend that lived over on the other side of Pennsylvania. And I sent her a message. I said, hey, do you want to go check this out? You should come with me. And she did. And we went to Imaging in Nashville, and that just changed the whole trajectory of my business. So then those next few years were spent just photographing clients. I mean, I had a infant and a 3-year-old, so it was just survival mode for me day to day, and then fitting in some clients on the side for a couple years. And then I started learning more about pet photography. And then I started to realize, oh my gosh, I think maybe I can do a little bit more pet photography. I still at that point didn't think that I would do just pet photography. I thought it could possibly just be a bigger portion of my photography business. So I started learning more and more about that. I attended workshops. I basically sucked up any amount of education that I could get. And back in that day, this was like 2012, 2013, there was not a lot of information online. Creative Live wasn't a thing yet, or if it was, it had just gotten started. All of these online education streaming, YouTube didn't even have nearly what it does today. I mean, you guys, there was not the information that there is today. If there's one thing you can say about 2021, you can basically look up how to do just about anything online and get pretty good information on how to do it. So anyway, I was just consuming all this information, and I wanted to kind of just share my experiences, and I wanted to help those that were a couple steps back. So that's really how this whole thing got started. I didn't start this like when I knew everything. I still don't know everything, guys, by the way. Like, I'll never know everything. None of us ever will. I love learning new things. So anyway, but I thought, man, I have some information now that I didn't have 4 years ago that I would love to just help people getting started on this journey that are just a couple steps behind me. So I created Hair of the Dog blog, and it was just a blog at the time where I would write a couple articles. I would just kind of share my thoughts. I would share some tips and tricks and things like that, mostly business related, and just to kind of help some people, especially at the business, because I saw so many photographers that love the art of photography, but really struggled on that business side. And I love the business side. If you guys have been around Hair of the Dog at all over the past few years, you know that pricing, sales, spreadsheets, a color-coded spreadsheet, well, I get pretty excited about that. So anyway, so that's how Hair of the Dog was born. And that went on for quite a few years. I taught a little workshop here and there. And then, oh gosh, I don't even know what year it was. 2016, maybe 2017, something like that. I was like, maybe I can put together a little something to help someone out. And at that point, I was doing my Food for Fido mini sessions, which I had figured out basically on my own how to put this all together, how to systematize it, how to automate it as much as possible so that I could still be very profitable, because the time I would put into it was much more minimal than, say, a full session. So anyway, so I put together mini sessions in a Snap, which is still, you guys, in the Academy for you Academy members. It's buried in marketing under mini sessions. You can find it there. But anyway, it was this big 35-page PDF, and then some additional videos and some templates and things like that to help people put on their little mini sessions. So I created that, and I had my first online offer, and had 50 amazing pet photographers that purchased mini sessions in a Snap. And that was basically how this whole Hair of the Dog education platform was born. From there, we created post-processing for pet photographers with Heather Lottinen. And then I created business of pet photography. And we just kept on adding more and more things because I don't know if you guys have noticed, there's a lot of aspects to running a business, right? I mean, yeah, you get into it and you think, I just have to take some pretty pictures and get a website. I'm good to go. But yeah, no, there's a lot. If you're not sure of all the different things, go back and listen to my 6 pillars of pet photography. I did a 6-part series on the blog, on the podcast. That was a throwback on the blog. On the podcast a couple of months ago, earlier this summer, in which I break down each of the 6 pillars of running a pet photography business, from admin to branding to websites to pricing and sales, workflow, and marketing. But anyway, there's so many different pieces. So I just kept on, creating new things and working with some other pet photographers to help them spread the word within the Academy too. Because my number one goal, my number one value of this platform has always, from the very beginning, from the very first blog post, has been to create community. And I hope you guys feel included in our little community, because I am thankful to each and every one of you. So anyway, that's it. That's how this whole crazy thing got started back in the day. And then fast forward to today, where we have our Hair of the Dog Academy and our Elevate coaching program and all of these different pieces. And also the latest piece of our growth, which is really, I think, how I figured out my true life's purpose. You guys might have heard this on the podcast in the past, because I mentioned it last spring when I was still in the planning processes of it. And that is the creation of the Hair of the Dog Conservation Fund. You guys, I can't even put into words how excited I am about this. I'm recording this is August 31st. I am still anxiously awaiting my 501c3 approval letter from the IRS, but that should be coming really anytime. I'm hoping in the next couple weeks, by the time I get back from Colorado for Hound Vision, that it will be here and we will be officially in business as the Hair of the Dog Conservation Fund 501c3 nonprofit. Oh my gosh. You guys, it's just incredible. And once that day comes, we will be raising money in various different ways. One of the ways that you can support the Conservation Fund is actually just by being a Hair of the Dog Academy member, because we are going to be taking a portion of our profits from the for-profit side of Hair of the Dog over into this nonprofit side. And our goal of the Conservation Fund is to support wildlife conservation all over the world, a cause that is so close to my heart, working for 13 years with so many incredible species species, and also working with so many incredible humans that were doing such incredible conservation work. And more to come for that. So excited. But I want to put a big old bow on this blast from the past, this origin story, the beginnings of Hair of the Dog, and wrap it up with kind of 3 things that someone needs to be successful. And this could be successful in a photography business, successful in creating a nonprofit, successful in baking cookies, whatever. Whatever it is, there are really 3 main pieces that are at the top of the list almost every time. And that is number 1, belief, number 2, action, and number 3, commitment. So, my question to you, in regards to your pet photography, whether you're interested in just growing your pet photography craft, or if you're interested in pursuing a full-blown pet photography business, what are the beliefs that you currently hold? This is really, really critical. We've all heard the Henry Ford quote that if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And I love that quote, mostly because it's incredibly accurate. And this belief that we have in ourselves and what is possible is really the driving force of everything. Because if you don't believe it's possible for it to happen for you, to you, by you, it's never going to happen. So that is 100% the first thing that we need to do, is to really ask ourselves, what do we believe is possible? What is that little voice in the back of your head saying when you say, I want to have a 6-figure pet photography business? Just get quiet. What's that voice say? Does it say, oh, yeah, of course you do, but you're not enough business-minded to make it happen? Yeah, that would be great, but there's so many other pet photographers here, there's no way that'll happen. Oh, or this is one of my favorites, still happens to me sometimes, is 100K, 50 clients, $2,000 a client. There's no way I'm going to find enough clients that'll spend that much because everyone's going to think that is way too expensive. And especially my friends and family have told me no one's going to pay that. I mean, you guys, all of these beliefs, which are perfectly common and understandable, and we all have them, but they are not doing us any favors. So it is just really, really important to kind of ask ourselves, what are we thinking? What are we telling ourselves? And then how do we change them? Well, we could look for counterexamples. Look for places where this is happening. Is there anyone out there running a 6-figure photography business? Yes. What if your belief is, well, I can't run a 6-figure photography business in my small town? Well, is there anyone running a 6-figure photography business out of a small town? I know one. Ben Shirk from Ben Shirk Photography. He's in a little tiny town in Iowa. His work is amazing. People fly in from New York and Chicago and all over the place to be photographed in the middle of Iowa for their high school senior photos because his work is so good. So yes, anything is possible. So ask yourself what your beliefs are, and then start to look for some different beliefs or some examples of someone that is living those current beliefs. And one way to do that truly is to be surrounded by other people that are going after the same goals that you have, which is one of the things that we do inside the Academy. It's just we have this community of people that are all moving in the same direction. So whatever beliefs you have, likely someone is living that actual thing. They have busted through that belief and they are proof that it is possible. So beliefs are really, really important. For instance, one of the beliefs that I had when I started this whole Hair of the Dog education side of the journey, back to that mini sessions in a snap day, is that I didn't know that I could actually help someone with this. I didn't have any formal training. Yes, I've always enjoyed helping people. Back when I was a zoo trainer, I would help other people train their animals. I loved operant conditioning. I loved teaching people about operant conditioning. I really, really enjoyed it. And I, really love the business of photography, but I didn't know and I didn't necessarily have beliefs that this is what I was here to do, that I was supposed to be helping people with this particular thing. I had a lot of doubt and a lot of really worthiness issues and things like that. I'm sure many of you can relate. But how that changed is that I did it anyway. I said, all right, I put it out there. What's the worst that happens? Nothing happens. Okay, I can live with that. So I put it out there. And what happened after that is that people had big transformations. And it was because I took the time to put down what I had figured out, my knowledge, my experience. I just took the time to record it. And I took the time to put it out to the world to allow people that needed that information to grab it. And, then when you start to get notes from people that say, oh my gosh, thank you so much for doing this. I just had my first $5,000 mini session day. It makes you feel pretty good and it changes those beliefs. And so actually, this ties in really well because those beliefs, to get them to start to change them, is often tied to our number 2 success principle, and that is action. You guys, nothing happens without action. How many of you are sitting at home getting ready to create a new marketing piece or to do a new marketing strategy or to just post that you have sessions available on social media and you're like, it's not perfect. Oh, I need to do this first. I need to do that first. Oh, I need to create this 37-page pricing guide before I can actually market my business. Raise your hand. It's okay. We've all been there. Just that perfection is really the enemy of action. You guys, getting something good enough is so much better than waiting for perfection. If you're waiting for perfection, it's really kind of like failure because you're not getting it out there. You're not helping people. You're not photographing someone's dog who has limited time left with them because you're waiting to create this 37-page pricing guide. We need to put our services out there and we need to take the action. And then when we take the action, we get more information and then we can tweak, we can change, we can improve. I don't want you to mishear me. When I say 70% is good, like just get it out, that doesn't mean that we're settling for like, oh, whatever, I don't have to try hard and I could put not my best stuff out there. No. You're putting 70% of your best stuff out there. You are doing the best you can for that 70%, but you are not waiting for absolute perfection because absolute perfection doesn't exist. You will never be done updating your website or updating your client material or changing your workflow or learning new things for your craft. It never happens because we're always growing, we're always learning, we're always expanding and improving. So just take the action. Just get moving. One place where action led to a lot of clarity here in Hair of the Dog is really the creation of the membership. If you would have told me, heck, even 3 years ago, hey, Nicole, you're going to have a membership. What? No, I'm not. I create individual courses and help people just with what they need individually, creating and selling individual courses and then having my photography business. I'm not going to have a membership. That wasn't on my radar at all. But taking the different action, being open to different ways to help everyone, listening to my community, and seeing the possibility to be able to serve such a bigger audience because the membership is at a price point that those starting out in their business can attain, which it never would have happened if I wasn't just constantly tweaking, putting things out, changing, asking how I can improve, asking my students, my community, what's working for them, asking what they love, asking what they still need help with, and just always, always changing. Has it been perfect? No. Will it ever be perfect? Probably not. But being able to just take this action and then adjust as we go has been 100% instrumental in creating Hair of the Dog for what it is today. All right, number 3, commitment. You guys, critical. One of my favorite quotes is, if you are interested, you'll find an excuse. And if you're committed, you'll find a way. Let that sink in for a minute. If you're interested, you'll find an excuse. And if you're committed, you'll find a way. How many things have we said, oh yeah, I'm going to do that? And then, it never happens. We have other commitments. We, just change our focus. We just have it on our to-do list for like 3 years and it never happens. That's because we were interested. We weren't committed. Commitment is 100% critical to getting to where you want to go. And it's okay if you are committed to something and then you realize, well, I don't want to be committed to that anymore. No one says you have to stick with a commitment for a lifetime. Well, unless you're getting married. But other than that, married or children, those are pretty lifelong commitments. But other things like I want to have my pet photography business just do studio work, just do outdoor work, just do cats, just do horses. You can change that commitment. No one is saying you have to keep that same commitment forever and ever. But we need to be committed to it because it's going to get rocky. It's going to get difficult. There are going to be setbacks. Some days you're going to feel like you're taking 3 steps back and only 1 step forward. But guess what? If you stay committed, next week you're going to take 8 steps forward. So it's just a necessity. So you have to ask yourself, what am I committed towards? Because at the end of the day, we all have 24 hours in the day. So I again want to ask you what you guys are committed to. All right. Those are the top 3 ways of being that we really need to be in order to have success, whether it is pet photography success or any other piece of success in your life. Number 1, belief that it's possible, belief in yourself. Number 2, taking that imperfect action. And number 3, having commitment to keep going. Now, one way that we help our students inside Hair of the Dog is in the Hair of the Dog Academy, which you might have noticed is actually open for enrollment right now. We are only open for enrollment for a few more days, and then the doors will close for a little while we serve the heck out of our new members. But just wanted to give you guys a quick update as to what's new in the Academy. The 3 main ways that we help our pet photographers in our community is number 1, with content, number 2, with support, and number 3, with the community. And gosh, the content ranges from fundamentals of pet photography with Caitlin McCall from Ragamuffin, like talking about shutter speed and capturing action and exposure triangle and things like that, all the way up to Kim Hartz's Pet Photography EDU that's talking about off-camera flash and studio lighting and photographing groups of dogs. And then I, of course, have a gazillion programs in there. That's an actual number. Various behind the lenses where you come with me on a shoot, an equine shoot, an urban shoot, 2 dogs, pets and people for some posing. We have editing help with post-processing for pet photographers. We have the full business of pet photography content. We have guest artists sharing editing secrets and other business secrets. We have the support, which is office hours and laser coaching and monthly shooting challenges and critique corner with Charlotte Reeves. And then, of course, we have our amazing community. Oh, you guys, I would love for you to jump in and join us. The Academy is incredibly affordable. It is less than a dinner and a martini out. Come on over, check it out. If you are committed to improving your craft or growing your business, I believe that you need some help along the way. You need a mentor, you need education, you need support. And, if Hair of the Dog Academy isn't the right place for that, that's fine. But I encourage you to please find that support somewhere. And of course, if you want to check out the Academy and you find that it is the right place for you, we would love to have you. The doors are open now, but only for a few days. Check them out, www.hairofthedogacademy.com/academy. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this little bit of a peek under the hood of the history of Hair of the Dog. And I really, truly, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate each and every one of you. And thank you so much for being part of my journey, because this is why I do this, is every email that I get, every win that's posted in the Academy, each and every one of your successes just bring me incredible amounts of joy. So get out there, keep believing that it's possible, taking that action and being committed to your goal. And I will see you guys next week. Have a good one, everybody. If you enjoyed this podcast episode, go ahead and take a screenshot of this episode on your phone and post it up there on your Instagram stories, and be sure to tag us at Hair of the Dog Academy. And we would just love to see how you're listening. And full disclosure, sometimes we just like to give away a little pet photographer swag in the form of Hair of the Dog t-shirts and sweatshirts. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and share that screenshot of this episode, and don't forget to tag us at Hair of the Dog Academy. And while you're there, maybe you want to jump on over to our account and see what we're up to on the gram. Would love to connect with you. Thanks for listening to the Hair of the Dog podcast. If you want to check out the show notes for access to any of the links that we shared in this episode, as well as any additional related resources, simply go to www.hairofthedogacademy.com/99. Once again, that's hairofthedogacademy.com/9 and 9.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Hair of the Dog podcast. If you enjoyed this show, please take a minute to leave a review. And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming episodes. One last thing, if you are ready to dive into more resources, head over to our website at www.hairofthedogacademy.com. Thanks for being a part of this pet photography community.